Hi guys, in the previous video we have learned about the local storage, application cache and web workers. So in this video let's learn about the HTML5 SVG tag. So I'm renaming the title to SVG. And the syntax for the SVG tag is the tag name is SVG, and we have close with SVG tag. And similarly, like audio and video tag, if the browser doesn't support the SVG tag, then this text will be displayed. So it's your own text. I'm saying please upgrade browser. And let's define the some height and width of the SVG tag. Height, I'm saying 1000 pixels, and width 1000 pixels. So first let's draw a line. So to draw a line in SVG, we have a tag called line tag, and in the line tag we have to define four main attributes. The starting point, it's a xy. So the x1 is let's say some 10, and y1 is 10. So the starting point is 10 comma 10. So it will start from 10 comma 10, and we have to define the ending point, that is x2. So x2 is, let's say, some 50, and y2 is some 50, and then we have to give the color. So let's say stroke in red color, and you can also define the stroke width. So that defines the thickness of the line. So let's say 10, and then close the line tag. So let's save it, and we will open it in the browser. So see here, we have drawn a line here. So if you give stroke width as 1 pixels, then we will have a small thinner line here. And yeah, so the next one is circle. To define a circle, we have a circle tag. Again, like here, instead of x1 and y1, we have cx and cy to define the center of the circle. So let's say the cx is 100 pixels, and cy is 100 pixels, and the radius, you have to define the radius of the circle. So I am giving 40 pixels as the radius. And similarly, again, like stroke and stroke width of the circle. So I'm just copying it from here, stroke width for the circle, and let's see what's happening. So we have a circle now. By default it is filled in black color. I'll increase the stroke width to some 5 pixels, and I'll say to fill it with a different color you want, you have to define the fill attribute. That's blue, and you can also define the opacity. So by default the opacity is 1, it is not opaque. And then I'm in this case I'm defining it 60% solid. So see here, so if you say that it is 10%, which is 0.1, then this is how it is. So if we define it as 1, then it is, yep. So that's how you draw a circle in SVG. And next we will see about ellipse. So again, like you define ellipse using ellipse tag, and the same as circle, you have a cx and cy, but instead of radius you have to define the x and y tags, like the radius in the x and radius. For circle the radius is equal, as you know, but for ellipse the radius in the x-axis and y-axis is different. So we have to define our radius in the x-axis, rx is some 100, and ry is some 50, And again like the same property apply for ellipse as well. I'm just copying this one. Yep, let's save it. And since circle is in 100 to 100, let me make this as 50. Yeah, so let's save it. So see here we have our ellipse here now. And the next thing in SVG is rectangle. So for to define a rectangle, you have to use a rect tag. Again, like you have to define the x, how much length in the x-axis. Let's say 150, and in the y-axis, let's say 200 pixels. And what is the width? So x-axis, and so we are starting it in the point xy point 150 and 200. So now we have to define the width and height of the width is 200 pixels and height 100 pixels. Again the same stroke and stroke width for so width and height is 200 and 100 pixels. And then similarly like we have stroke and stroke width in here. And yeah, let's close it and we'll see what happens. Yep, we have a rectangle here. So if we want to have a curved borders, then we can say like Rx equal to 10 pixels, and in the Ry we can say 20 pixels. Then we'll be having curved borders in the rectangle. And the next tag is polygon. So to draw a polygon in SVG, we have to say polygon, and then you have to define the points. So minimum you need to define 3 points in polygon. So let's define like first point is 200 comma 100, and third point is some 500. Second point is 500 comma 400, and some third point 160 comma 210, and some fourth point is 50 comma 40. So we have defined 4 coordinates now. And then again like we can say stroke red, stroke width, and fill blue. Yep, we are having a polygon now here. And yep, the next one is polyline. I'll start from here so that we can see everything. How to draw a polyline. Again like the same as in like you have to define the points. So I'm saying some 900 comma 1000 on coordinate. The next one is from 1000 to 800, and again like I'm trying to draw a step kind of thing, 1000 to 700, and finally like 700. So I'm again like defining 4 coordinates in here, and then again like we say stroke is red. In this case we will fill it with white, otherwise it will automatically fill it with black. We'll fill it with white, and we can say the stroke width is 5 pixels. Let's refresh, and yeah, so we can have we are having a point at 900,000, which is this one, and then we are moving to 1000 in the x-axis and 800 in the y-axis, which is this one. again like we are moving top from 1000 x-axis and 700, and again like 700 back to 700 here. So this is polyline. And we can also have text in SVG, and we have to define the x and y coordinates for the text where it should start. So let's say 800, and y in the y-axis it is 150, and we will fill the text with blue, and then yeah, close it, and say text. We will say SVG is awesome. So the web page. So see here we have a text in here. We can also have a rotate. So we can transform the text, transform property. You have to say rotate 60 degree from the point. The point is 800, 150 in our case. So the text has been rotated to an angle of 60 degree, and we also have a stroke in SVG. So the syntax for the stroke is you have to path, and then you have to stroke red, and stroke width is some 5 pixels, sorry 5, and to draw a stroke you have to define the D attribute. First you have to say D attribute, like first you have to say move to which coordinate you need. So 850 and 200 some coordinates, and draw a line which is 215 in the x-axis and 0 in the y-axis. Let's close this one and see what happens. Yep. So we define the stroke here, path. We define the path. So move to 850 and 200, which is this one. From here we are drawing a line for 215 points, and if you give some 10 in the y, it will just, yeah. So you see here it is getting slanted, so it will rotate like this. So that is about the path thing. Yep. And in the next video we will learn about the canvas, and we have one more video for SVG to learn the linear and radial gradient. Thank you.